Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm going to show you how to cover up hyperpigmentation and acne scarring. I cannot stand looking at myself in the mirror when I have tons of scars all over my face, hyperpigmentation from me picking at pimples when I shouldn't have. So I'm going to show you how to cover them when the healing process starts. Because you want to look a little bit more put together, but they're so dark that they're hard to cover. So I'm going to show you guys a couple tips and tricks that I have, and hopefully they work for you. So if you're curious to see how I do it, then go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so first things first, you're definitely going to want to prime your skin, because chances are if you have just finished out a breakout, you are probably using some sort of acne clearing something on your face which has dried it out. So you want to make sure that you are hydrating your skin again, and then we will go in with the makeup products. Recently, I've been reaching for one of two primers. I either go for this one right here by Guerlain, or I use this one right here by Too Faced. This is the Hangover RX Primer. This one is infused with coconut water, probiotic-based ingredients, and it has skin reviving factors to it. It's also silicone-free. And this one right here is, I think it's called L'Or, and it has gold flakes in here, which adds a beautiful radiance to the skin. But for today's video, just because this one is a lot more affordable, I'm going to go with the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer. I'm going to take one pump of it on my finger, and I'm just going to distribute it and blend it in all over the face. Another step that you can include instead of using a primer lotion, or you can add this with the primer lotion as well, is to use some sort of moisturizing, hydrating facial mist. This one right here is the spray version of the Hangover RX Primer that I just used on my face, and this one right here by Evian is the moisturizing facial spray. This is the best facial spray ever. I love the spray on it. My face feels so hydrated after, so I'm just going to use a little bit on top of the primer that I put on my face to add extra hydration. So when my skin is in a bit of a flare-up, or I've just finished with a flare-up and I have a lot of scars happening on my face, I don't actually like to go in with a full face of foundation, just because a lot of the areas of my face are still going to be a little bit dry and flaky, and it doesn't look good when you have a full face of makeup on. So what I am going to do instead is spot conceal in the areas that need it. To do this, I use my Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer. This one is in the shade 3W, and it is a little bit light for me right now. As you guys can see, when I do put this on, it is going to lighten my skin a little bit, because I don't have the right color concealer for my tan skin at the moment, but we're just going to make it work. And for the areas of the skin that are like super hyperpigmented, because this will do a pretty good job of covering, but the areas that are like super intense, I'm going to add just a little bit of my Bobbi Brown corrector in light peach underneath the concealer first. So first I'm just going to pick a little bit up of my peach corrector with this Sigma Soft Blend Concealer brush. This is the F64, and I'm just very lightly going to stipple some of this product over the more aggressive problem areas, just so that we can put a little bit less product later with the concealer, because this is going to do the majority of the work for us. You really want to make sure that you're concentrating the product right over those areas, because that will create the most coverage. Don't worry about blending it too much now. We're going to do that in a minute. So this right here is actually a burn, so I'm not going to put anything on top of that, because that'll just hurt. But basically I'm going to leave the corrector on just like this, and then I'm going to go over it with my concealer. So anywhere that I put that product, I'm going to go over it, and just other areas that I'm going to need extra coverage, I'm just going to put a little bit of concealer as well. And then what I'll do is I'll take this brush right here. This is the Luxie 512 Small Contouring Brush. This one is a lot more fluffy. This one was a lot more compact. And this is going to be easier to kind of blend out the product. And the edges blend a lot easier also because the brush is a little bit more full. So what I like to do is I like to kind of push the product in and flick it out on the edges so that it's getting blended around and it's not just like an obvious spot of concealer on the face. So again, I push the product in to make sure that the pigment is going straight where it needs to go, and then I kind of feather out the edges. Sorry that my lighting just changed. I think that the sun went behind a cloud. But as I was saying, if you find that your concealer is getting a little bit dry and you didn't work quickly enough to move it around, take a little bit more of your spray. Spray just a little bit. Don't go in right away when it's super, super wet. Let it dry just a little bit. And when you feel that it's just a little bit still damp, then continue to blend, because that will reawaken the product and then it'll be easier to move it around. So the next really important step is to set the areas that we've just put concealer. So I'm going to be using my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder for this, and this powder to me just lasts the longest. So I'm going to use my Spotlight Duster brush from Sigma. This is the F37, to just place a little bit more powder than the rest of my face underneath my eyes, because my concealer moves. And I like to make sure that it is incredibly set. And then I'll dust away whatever excess I have underneath my eyes, while also buffing in some powder around my nose, because that's where I get super oily. And then what I'm going to do is, because this powder is mattifying, I'm actually going to be taking Laura Mercier's new powder. This is the Translucent Glow. And I'm going to take the smallest amount of this, like I'm talking barely a drop, on this brush right here. This is the finishing brush by Laura Mercier as well. And I'm just literally going to dip into whatever's on the lid, tap off a ton of the excess, and then just with very light circular motions, I'm going to go over the perimeter of my skin just to add a little bit of life back to it, because I don't want it to look too flat and matte. Okay, so I just put on some mascara, I filled in my eyebrows, and I put on a little bit of Chelsea Girls lip gloss. This is normally where I leave it for the day, and I just kind of leave the house now. I'm a little bit more put together look, but if you wanted to, you can totally add some bronzer. I'm dying to try this highlighter kit by Glam Glow. I got it sent to me a few weeks ago, and I have yet to use it. It's beautiful. I think I'm going to mix two of the shades together, because why just pick one if you have all three options in here? I'm going to mix the middle one and the outer one, and I'm using my ABH A23 brush, and I'm just very lightly gonna add a bit more of an extra glow to the skin. It smells so good. It smells like their creams, their face creams. I like it. It's a very, very subtle, non-glittery, glowing from within highlight, which is my favorite because it's not over the top, and when you have breakouts you can still get away with a product like this because it's not going to over-exaggerate texture, because it's just kind of adding a dewy, luminous glow instead of something over the top. And then I am good to go. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.